Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Unbreakable Boy, and this is a new drama coming to you from writer-director Joe Gunn, and this film stars Jacob Lavelle as Austin, a young man who has autism and a rare brittle-bone disease that he inherited from his mother, played by Megan Fahey, and his father, Zachary Levi. They're really trying to just make this work, and this film is so jam-packed with serious themes and serious topics that I don't think this film ever is able to wrap itself around trying to tackle all these things. Because yes, it deals with autism. It has this chronic illness, this brittle bone disease that affects both Austin and his mother. It's the fact that Teresa and Scott, the parents, only had a couple of dates before she got pregnant. So this was an unplanned pregnancy out of wedlock. You have their relationship tensions. You have religion and how that fits into this. Zachary Levi Scott has serious alcoholism. There's bullying at school for both Austin and his brother as well, Logan. And on top of that, for some reason, Scott, Levi's character, has an imaginary friend, Joe, played by Drew Powell, who's just floating around here this whole entire time. And it never really confronts, this is just a really elaborate, imaginary friend and not some kind of mental health issue or something. And there's just so many things that this film's trying to navigate through, and none of it really feels like it gets the respect and the dignity and the effort to really dig into these. It's all very surface level and stereotypical, and this film swings wild. There's a sequence where Austin gets really violent out of nowhere, and they're just brush it off. It's just well, it was a med thing, and we just switched the meds and it's fine. And you're like, okay. There's so many moments where this film does not dig deep enough in terms of navigating some of these things. And there's so many things to try to process in this film. And it's just a total whiplash. Because you have Austin narrating a lot of this, and it's so high. Yes, this is so much fun. And, I love the world. And then it'll swing to, big shouting matches between Scott and Teresa, or something horrible happening, this violent thing, and you seeing Austin being how many broken bones can he possibly have? And tonally, this film never really gets a grasp on, is this supposed to be a serious drama? Is this supposed to be silly? And it's trying to be silly, and then the next moment is trying to be super serious, and it's hard to really anchor down and feel that connection. I think this film is too much of an inspiration porn, and also just, it has such an overly simplified perspective on some of its characters. Performance-wise, I think Vel does a fine job here, and I do enjoy Fahey as Teresa, but Zachary Levi, he works in the funny parts. There's parts where he's trying to be really serious and upset, and I cannot take him seriously. And it's just the way that he's, moving his face when he's trying to cry, and it just looks silly, and he's trying to make faces. And this whole entire subplot with this imaginary friend is just so ridiculous. And it's hard to buy into, and the logic of it. And then it tries to make it super serious at times, where it's just naturally such a silly idea. And this film never really understands how to balance all these tones, trying to balance these heavy themes. And not all the performances are pulling their weight in the way that it needs to either. So at the end of the day, this film, I'm sure people will sit back and just enjoy how inspirational it is. But it's just so manipulative and so just beating you over the head with it. And it just never really hits on a deeper level. Except all these surface ideas that it's throwing around, and without subtlety or nuance. And trying to keep up with all the mechanisms, the moving pieces, and these themes and ideas that this film is trying to navigate and process. And I don't think this film ever really is able to wrangle it in. But those are my thoughts on The Unbreakable Boy. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.